Breaking news now on Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
We begin with breaking news. We've just learned a New Haven student was released today from ICE custody after 44 days in detention. Thanks for joining us for the Fox 61 News at 6. I'm Brent Harden.
And I'm Sarah Sanchez. 18-year-old Esdras is a junior at Wilbur-Cross High School. He was detained at his workplace in July and spent time at different detention facilities in Massachusetts, New Hampshire, and Louisiana. He was supposed to be deported to his home country of Guatemala last week, but a judge instead agreed for Esdras to return back to Massachusetts. The organization, Connecticut Students for a Dream, says he posted a $1,500 bond today, and he's on his way back. The group says it will plan a homecoming event for Esdras in a couple of weeks.
A wild crash in Rocky Hill today that left a car flipped up on its roof on top of another car, and those weren't the only cars damaged. All this happening in a Dunkin' parking lot.
Our team checked out the damage and spoke with people who saw the whole thing. Fox 61's Nick Bradshaw got an exclusive interview with someone who helped rescue the driver. Nick.
Yeah, take a listen to this. I mean, incredible out here earlier this morning and into the lunch hour. That truck went through this intersection here and plowed through this transformer here and then went airborne into the parking lot. And then after that, landed on vehicles, which caused a train reaction that damaged other vehicles. Now, when that happened, people in a barber shop, they heard the accident. They jumped up and helped. For those working in Cousins Barber Shop, they planned for a non-eventful day. Around lunchtime, that changed in an instant.
We saw the truck flipped over and there was still dirt flying in the air and stuff. It was crazy.
Anthony Spot, a co-owner of Cousins Barber Shop, heard the accident next door. That's when Spot and his cousin Anthony Carrion put down their clippers and jumped in to help.
I knocked on the window to see if anyone was inside the car and no one was in there. He was already out. He got out just in like a minute before it hit. He was walking into Dunkin'.
However, the woman driving the truck was still inside. The two helped open the door and started first aid.
We just stayed with her until the paramedics came.
Soon after, many planning to stop for an afternoon coffee were met with this scene.
This is crazy. How do you manage this? Like, wouldn't you think to stop at some point?
Back at the barbershop, the two cousins says jumping in to help was the right thing to do. All right, pieces of the vehicle is still out here right now, and I know what you're asking. How did this happen? Well, that's the question we're all asking so far. Police have not answered that. The first priority was treating the woman, and we'll get more details as soon as possible. We're live in Rocky Hill. Nick Bradshaw, Fox 61.
Thank you, Nick. New Haven police have identified the 31-year-old man who was shot and killed yesterday. Officials say Brequan Chapman left Real Right Smoker Shop on Chapel Street around 1:45 in the afternoon when a person he didn't know shot him. Chapman died at the hospital. Investigators believe this was a targeted attack and drug-related. Police are asking witnesses to come forward. The department has reported 5 homicides in the last 17 days. New Haven police gathered the media today to talk about gun violence and give some updates on cases they're working on. Police are investigating a deadly shooting and another shooting that left a man hurt on August 18th. Officers say 40-year-old Dennis Atkinson was shot on Ferry Street. He later died at Yale New Haven Hospital. Just 3 hours later, another man was shot in the leg on Shelton Avenue. Police say the shootings appear unrelated, but both are still under investigation.
Our numbers to date we've had 13 homicides so far this year, 25 non-fatal shooting victims, and 72 confirmed shots fired. And while we've had a tough few weeks and it's sometimes hard to see the forest through the trees, our overall numbers for gun-related violent crime continue to be down.
We have more details and updates on these shootings on our website, fox61.com.
The police in Middletown say a man was found unresponsive early this morning and later died at the hospital. Officers got the call around 3:30 in the morning to Main Street. Investigators believe the man was hit by a car. The driver stayed on scene and is cooperating with police. The victim's name has not been released, but police say this was an isolated incident and there's no threat to the public. Anyone with information is asked to call Middletown Police.
The supposedly accidental deaths that result from a gun being available to kids without proper storage. We have an obligation to act and act now. It's a moral obligation. It's an imperative.
Now, as of September 1st, there have been 292 mass shootings in the U.S. so far this year. That's according to the nonprofit Gun Violence Archive, which defines a mass shooting as 4 or more people being injured or killed, not including the shooter. Fox 61's Solene Arif shares the renewed effort to push for more gun control coming from both lawmakers and advocacy groups.
1 week following a mass shooting at a Minnesota school, lawmakers are once again calling for tighter gun control laws. On Tuesday, Senator Richard Blumenthal stood here at the steps of the Capitol, joined by families who are still dealing with the aftermath of gun violence years later.
As the world tries to move on, these mothers haven't. Each one has lost a child or grandchild to gun violence. They call themselves Mothers United Against Violence.
My son passed on August 11th, 2023, almost 2 years ago. Or it's been 2 years this August.
Jonathan Roseborough Jr.'s murder is still unsolved in Hartford. Today, his mother, Diana Roseborough, advocated for more gun control and more mental health resources, which she believes can bring shootings down.
There's people out there that are hurting, that are traumatizing, and they're hurting other people, and they need to be helped.
On Tuesday, Roseborough and other gun control advocates stood beside the senator.
We're here as kids go back to school and Congress goes back to work to renew our call, and it's a call for action to prevent gun violence.
He says 2 pieces of legislation could be part of the gun violence solution. His assault weapons ban of 2025 would ban selling, transferring, and making military-style assault weapons, high-capacity magazines, and other high-capacity ammo-feeding devices nationwide. And you may have heard of Ethan's Law, named in honor of Ethan Song, who was killed in 2018 by an unsecured gun at a neighbor's house. If the bill passes, it would create federal requirements for safely storing guns, hopefully preventing more gun violence.
People don't know the devastation that a family goes through when you take a loved one's. They took their lives.
Henrietta Beckman lost her son, Randy Beckman, to gun violence more than 20 years ago. Today, she's holding him close to her heart and uses her testimony to remind people the effects of gun violence don't really ever go away.
He had a 4-month-old son, so, they took a lot from us. But I forgave them because that's what God said we should do. But in the meantime, it's not easy. Every day I think about my son. Every day.
Marilyn Hardrick, whose grandson, Makai Buckley, was shot and killed on Memorial Day 4 years ago, says every day stories of gun violence remind her to push for more gun control and encourage people to put down their weapons.
I will talk to young people as much as I can because I want them to hear. Don't let someone lead you in the wrong direction.
Right after Tuesday's press conference, Senator Richard Blumenthal flew back to Washington, D.C., where he says he'll be pushing for bipartisan support for his gun violence legislation. Reporting in Hartford, Solene Arif, Fox 61.
An East Haven educator convicted of stealing tuition money will have her pension reduced. Attorney General William Tong says Catherine Finkel diverted more than $30,000 in child care program payments into her own bank account. A Hartford judge ordered her pension be cut by $500 a month for nearly 9 years. This would cover the town's outstanding legal costs. Finkel has already paid back the stolen money.
Well, state police are out with the final numbers from their road patrols over Labor Day weekend. Troopers answered more than 4,200 calls for service and made nearly 900 traffic stops. They handled more than 280 crashes, including 25 with injuries, 2 with serious injuries in Stafford and Voluntown, and 1 deadly crash in Middlefield. Police also made 35 DUI arrests. Troopers say their goal now is to keep those numbers down as the busy fall travel season begins.
Out with the old and in with the new. That's the theme behind New Haven's newest renewable energy strategy. Fox 61's Victoria Anderson breaks down the new plan.
Landfills like this one here in New Haven is where trash takes its final stop. But now city officials are planning a new beginning for hours of renewable energy just steps away.
It's a sign of the times. No more dumping, just more vitamin D.
So there will be 1,920 of these going on top of that.
Solar panels, that is, lined up and down what once was decades worth of unwanted waste, now home to more than 1 megawatt of solar panels.
Perched at one of New Haven's highest elevations. This site enjoys unobstructed sunlight from morning until nighttime.
By partnering with the solar energy company Green Skies, New Haven is turning a closed landfill into a home for green energy while putting green into the city's pocket.
The city will get a check for $6,000 a month every month for the next 20 years. So that's awesome. It'll help a little bit with all the city's budget pressures.
The city will be leasing the plot to Green Skies, who then sells the energy back into the local grid. But a recent stop in funding from the Trump administration is putting a push on the project, with the deadline looming to maintain the recently axed federal solar tax initiative.
So it's important that these projects like these are built as soon as possible to make sure we get in before the incentive goes away.
It's just one way the city is signing on for a greener and cleaner New Haven.
So it's really exciting after decades and decades of this site being a grassy hill for it to be used for something that is not only good for the environment but really reflects the values of our city.
And officials estimate that this project will be finished with construction within the next 6 months. Reporting in New Haven, Victoria Anderson, Fox 61.